Your
I'm
jewels.
just organizing my jewels.
Your jewels. This is the casserole dish with Daniela Sea. Hi, Daniela.
Hi, Garrett.
How are you?
I'm great. How are you?
Fantastic. I like kind of sitting in bed with you.
Yeah, I like being in bed with you. I told you before.
Yeah, really? No, shh, we're not supposed to tell.
Know how I wanted you to wear this in the interview.
Okay, what is it?
This, Marjorie, Jane Wheatland's character, wears this in her scene.
Oh, she does?
It's
I didn't notice
a grape. It's a shoe clip.
No.
Oh, yeah, that looks
It's
fun.
so gay.
I will wear Jerome. This is Jerome's one of her favorite jewels.
Well, speaking of, who did you play in the movie?
I played Jerome.
Jerome. What's your last name, Jerome?
I don't know my last name.
I think it's Holleran.
Jerome Holleran.
There you go. Hello, Miss Holleran.
Hello.
So, do you cook?
I myself or Jerome?
You. And this is all
This
questions.
is all just me. It's
This
not
is
Jerome.
you, Daniela Sea.
I have been living half as Jerome for the last 2 weeks here in Casserole.
You're like, I don't know who I am anymore.
My cadence has changed. I've been questioning my entire identity. But I'll answer as me, all questions now.
Yeah. I think you're putting on all the jewelry.
Jerome's jewels. I love to cook, yeah.
Like, what do you cook?
My favorite style of cooking, like if I was going to go to like my basic style, would be like macrobiotic would be the easiest way to explain it. But like whole grains, vegetables, no refined foods. I've
Right.
been eating that way for about 13 years.
So, is there any like special dish that you concoct?
I really specialize in soups, and I also make wicked kale rolls. I learned those from my mom.
Oh, cool.
So a kale roll would be like you lay a bunch of kale leaves or collards as well, kind of in layers, so you can make a big sheet.
Yeah.
And you lay things inside, and you roll them up, and then you cut them like sushi. You steam
Oh,
them.
cool.
Yeah, you steam them. I mean, you could make a raw version too.
So did you grow up like with like a real healthy eating behavior? Like
Behaviorally, I think it's varied depending. I think in my teen years I was a bit emotional about eating, but as far as what I ate, it was relatively natural because my family were like early on health nuts, like my grandma and stuff.
So they never ate like processed foods and all that
Well,
kind of
we
stuff.
would sometimes. We had some frozen pizzas around, but the main staples were like home cooked, mostly. Kind of how I cook, but like maybe a little bit different version.
Right. Do you find cooking kind of erotic in any way? Do you think it's? Do you think like sex and food are kind of related?
They can be, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I think passion in food is definitely related for me. I'm very passionate about eating. I love to eat, and I love to cook for people that I love, like either family or friends or lovers. But for sure, it can be definitely related to sex. And I think any great relationship I've been in, food has been a big part of it.
Right. Do you host dinner parties at all?
I do.
You do?
Yeah.
Are they fabulous with like
they're
martinis
pretty
and the whole deal, or like what kind of tell me your ideal dinner party?
It depends. When I think of an ideal dinner party, I think about atmosphere. I really like low lighting, candlelight. But I've always lived in kind of humble places, and I don't feel like you need to put on a bunch. It can be natural in a way. So you can take really good care of each other, people, make them many courses, and make a really nice atmosphere. I like kind of an earthy feel. I like a fire, if I can get a fire going outside or something. And then, and these candles. I have these lamps that I got in Greece years ago. They're these little floaty things, and you put olive oil and water in the jar, and the olive oil's on the top. And then the thing floats and olive oil just burns olive oil. So instead of getting the kerosene smell, so you can
Oh my god,
light
I
up a
didn't
room
know that.
without the kerosene smell, and that's a little different than candles. I'll make whatever. I really do like to make healthy food because I think my friends kind of have always depended on me for that, and they like that about coming over to my house.
Nice.
I might make a miso soup, I might make brown rice balls with ume plum sauce, or
Fabulous.
mostly macrobiotics.
Fabulous.
I like a lot of seaweeds.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that. You're kind of like the modern day hippie chick.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I think so, yeah.
Like in a good way. I don't think there's anything wrong with being hippie, If Daniela Sea was a recipe, if she was a dish, what ingredients would Daniela Sea? Here's an example. I'm 1 cup of love, I'm a dash of sassy, I'm 3 tablespoons of something, So who is Daniela Sea in a recipe?
You know, every time I think I know who I am, it changes, right? So
Right.
I get solidified. So like for a while, my whole thing was be like, nice guy type, you know, nice to everyone. If people were jerks, you know, just kind of blow it off. Then I realized maybe that's a little bit too much of a pushover. So that would be like, I'd say like maybe sweet like maple syrup, not white sugar sweet, but
Right.
maple syrup.
Right.
You know, sweet but good for you.
So you're a
Yeah.
cup of sweet.
There's a bit of that.
Okay.
And I would say spicy, but like ginger spicy.
Okay.
So kind of like.
So you're
Yeah, for
a little
my
saucy.
A little saucy.
Yeah.
A little you know, I like to feel.
And how would you measure that? I mean.
Well, okay, so if I was a cup of sweet with maple syrup, I'd probably be 3/4 cup spicy.
Okay.
And there's a lot really.
It's amazing.
I would say sometimes pepper, because I can be kind of a jerk sometimes.
Okay.
I get a little aggro.
So let's just
That's
say a
pepper,
dash
and I
of.
would say a dash.
Okay.
1 dash, half a dash.
Is it a heated dish or you serve it cold?
No, it's a soup.
Okay.
It's a soup that
Okay.
warms. And I would say, yeah, definitely like a wholesome thing. So like all natural ingredients.
And so would Daniela? So what would you call Daniela's dish?
Ooh, yeah, I hadn't thought of it. Well, when you said the dish, of course, I went straight to actual food, and I think about Suen, one of my favorite restaurants in New York, Macrobiotic restaurant. It's been there for like 30 years, and they make this clear broth, seaweed-based vegetable soup, which is like really light soup. It has tons of vegetables in it.
Right.
So I see myself like that, almost like a tide pool, where you can see everything in there.
So
And
so
it's
it could
like
be like
refreshing.
it could be like Daniela's tide pool.
Hi, Susan.
Oh my God! It's Susan
Susan
Trailer
You like my
of the Malibu Colony Trailers.
I don't want to interrupt your
What
show.
are you wearing?
But this is my costume for. I'm going to play Christina Crawford in Mommy Dearest. It's from Bon Point, Paris, and my mommy gave it to me, and so I'm sharing it as a costume
I think it's
for
fantastic.
the.
Are you on the floor cleaning?
Well, I'm making food for my mother, and she does not like the metal pans. It appears she. I try to remember my line. It's hard. It appears she prefers Pyrex.
Doing our interview.
Sorry, it seemed
We're
like a...
interrupted.
My roommates just walked in.
I want the roommate's
Michael
one.
Mays.
But he can. Hi, Michael Mays.
Hello.
He's already been in bed with me.
Oh, yes. Over there on his bed, right
Figure
there.
it to me.
Yeah. So.
Michael Mays and I share a room, and it's been lovely. I love being his roommate.
Well,
He's
'cause-
a good friend of mine.
Yes. Well, you guys know each other. That's how kind of how you.
That's how I got involved in
Yeah.
this project. Yes.
Well, and I'm so glad you did.
Thank you.
So tell me, do you believe in monogamy?
Do I believe it exists, or do I believe it's a healthy choice for people?
If it's a healthy choice for people.
I think if people can make it work, and there's a few people I know who make it work in a healthy way for a long period of time, I think it can be really beautiful. But I think that a lot of people try to squeeze themselves into a mold in order to have stability and have love, which doesn't suit them, and then it leads to a lot of terrible things within the relationship and within ourselves, I think.
Right.
I don't think repression of feelings is ever a good idea, but I
Right.
do think it's important to be responsible for your actions and to not be careless with people's feelings. So, you know, it's a fine line. But yeah, I believe it can work for some people. It's worked for me sometimes, and other times it hasn't.
Right. Do you think there should be a communication if, what if one person wants to be monogamous and the other doesn't? How do you think that problem should be solved?
Well, I don't know. I mean,
It's kind of difficult.
it's pretty tricky, you know, because if two people want two different things from a relationship, it's like, how do you reconcile? And yet, everybody's different, and there's always compromises. So.
Right.
I mean, I would say that the default shouldn't just be with the conventional one that wants monogamy. I think that they should also have to be open-minded to compromising a little as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because all those morals, I don't think that they're always well thought out for freedom of expression, and as artists, it's important for us to express ourselves freely. And yet, also, I think oftentimes when people say non-monogamy, they mean they can just do whatever they want, and they don't care about anybody's feelings, and that's never good. So.
Right. Good. So, that's good answer. Do what do you think's wrong? I know this is a real general question, and I've asked this to everybody, but what do you feel like, what's missing in relationships today, or what's wrong with marriages? And mostly I'm talking about marriages.
Well,
what do you think the issue is?
I always go to the macrocosmic, so I would say for me, as a kind of left-wing minded person, I can see a lot in our society that causes people to feel more and more sequestered and isolated into tiny groups, and I don't think that's our natural inclination. I think that we, as beings, need to survive in a, we need to recognize the fact that we're all connected and we all, we can't survive, like I don't think two people sequestered in a suburb somewhere, like some of our characters were playing, could ever really truly be happy and expressive and, growing. I think that, that's I don't know. That's what it seems like to me. There's so much pressure that like, I'm just going to find the one person and we're going to just be our own little kingdom, and I think that can be destructive. For my grandparents, for example, they've been together for 60 plus years.